Hello, everybody, and welcome. You are in my nerd cave. Those of you who are going to be part of my coaching program, you're going to get a little bit broader and more intimate glimpse into who I am personally, and I'm excited for that. I hope you are too. So be prepared. But in this first video, I wanted to address just what is nice guy syndrome. How do we define this problem we're all here to work on together? And I define it in this way. Nice guy syndrome is a pattern of behavior characterized by two core elements. The first is a preoccupation with pleasing and placating other people that leads to the second point, which is pervasive self-betrayal. And I want to break down what each of those means here a little bit for you. No, number one, by pleasing and placating other people, we're not saying it's wrong to please other people or to be agreeable and friendly. Again, we're not here to become jerks. We don't want to try to be mean or anything, but we are preoccupied with how other people feel, really particularly how they feel about and toward us. But overall, there's more of a sense of responsibility for other people's emotions, how their day's going, even their choices weigh on us as if we are much more involved than we really are. From a responsibility standpoint. And this leads to huge discomfort with conflict and with other people's uncomfortable emotions. We have a hard time letting people be upset, depressed, angry, particularly with us. And this manifests in a lot of different behaviors. You're probably always going to need to help out, to fix, to solve the problem, to show up for whatever need you may perceive someone has. There's just a compulsion. There may not even be a consideration of saying, no, I'm not available for that. You always have to be the one to help. We're often very over-validating and hyper-agreeable with other people. We ruminate so much about, which is just obsessively thinking about what I could have said, what I could have done to give that person a better experience of me than the one I'm afraid they might have had. It's just intolerable that they didn't enjoy that time, or they didn't get what they needed, or they didn't like me. And I think about it and what could I have done? It makes you so vulnerable to guilt tripping. And people have probably learned this, that they can easily get you on their side by just a little jab in that area. That's what I mean by being preoccupied with placating other people. Now, self-betrayal is another one that kind of needs to be broken apart here, but self-betrayal is when you are willing to do harm to yourself in order to achieve something. In this case, specifically, the pleasing of other people. It's the harm that can be done to you doesn't really even factor into the decisions you make. You probably don't consider your needs and wants, you don't consider your limits or even your other commitments when you are trying to be what you sense somebody else wants or needs you to be. You'll often find that you don't say what you actually mean. You're more interested in saying, what does the other person need or want to hear from me right now? Which isn't to say we always need to voice disagreement when it's there. But again, going back to the first point there, what I need and what's best for me doesn't even factor into it. I don't care how I'm being hurt, or I don't see or acknowledge it. I'm more concerned with giving this person a pleasant experience with me. And that'll lead to a resentment that builds up over time that will break out in probably rare instances, but there will be moments when all these decisions to disregard myself have added up, and I am so angry and then that one more demand that's just a little too much comes, and this angry part of me comes out. And that validates, the reason that, gosh, wow, I'm really not a nice guy. I really, when I think about myself or when I push a limit, that person's really ugly and mean and scary, and I shouldn't do that. And it kind of just reinforces that cycle of going back into I don't consider myself, and we don't see how it's a feedback loop. And a lot of this can sound very big, very dire and serious, but honestly, it shows up in a lot of little ways most of the time. Micro interactions and little decisions we make that do add up, because each one of them is an agreement that we don't matter, or that we absolutely are not safe or okay or good unless we are giving somebody that experience that they want to have, or that we think they want to have, and that we've successfully avoided offending or creating conflict, which are often necessary in order to be true to ourselves. But that just, again, it doesn't come into the equation. So I'm curious though, what parts of this resonate for you, how it shows up. How do you think of nice guy syndrome, and what you kind of want to get out of what you're seeing in your own patterns of behavior and interacting with other people that you don't like? Love to hear your thoughts.